Start of a new week. So the BMW last week had a full skim over the entire car. We're going to start sanding this one down soon. It's the only way to do a job like this just because it's so rippled and so wavy. Obviously, like I said in previous videos, we are working with limitations to a certain extent on this one. So it did need a full entire skim over the whole car. It'll need several more as well, but most of this filler is obviously going to be sanded off. It's got deep fill, fiberglass in the areas that needs it, and just your normal body filler in the other areas, just to get rid of all the warps, ripples, all that side of things. So we start sanding that off this week. We are doing just a standard normal everyday repair on this one. Scuff down the bottom edge all the way along the bottom there. So 2 doors, obviously all trim pieces are removed and stripped. Door cards out, just so we can get the mirrors off, all that sort of thing, as we always do as standard. 2 purple Golfs in at the moment. Some of you might recognise that one. It's Kayla's actually, so we are doing a bit of a show prep on that one. I'll video that more as the week goes on. It's looking a bit sorry for itself at the moment. And then Tig, just doing our standard bumper off that one, bumper and boot repair. Yeah, start of a busy week again. So I've got some filler repairs drying on the MG, just some really minor repairs on this one. Obviously we've stud pulled the dent that was down there out as best as possible, tiny skim it of filler over the top, and then same with this, pushed it in with some heat first, tiny skim then of plastic filler. But whilst that filler is drying, just going to make a start on Kayla's Golf. So we'll start off with the headlights. I think very, very cloudy at the moment. We want them back to more this sort of thing. So the old UV protection has failed, as they always do on the older cars. So sand all that off to start with, and just go through the various different refining stages, and then clear coat, and they'll be as brand new again, hopefully. Okay, so back on Golfy. VW, in their infinite wisdom, some of you may know, have decided that in order to get the weather strips off, you'll have to excuse the mess again, the weather strips which run along the top edge of the doors, you have to take the entire door skin off. Don't know why they did that, but anyway, that is the reason for the door skins being off the car at the moment. What else are we doing? So 2 new replacement wings. You can see the original wings are just starting to corrode a little bit on the bottom edges now. It's an old car at the end of the day, so you know, we could have ground that back to bare metal, epoxied it, and then just tidied it up for a little bit, but we're doing it right, so we're getting new wings on this one instead. And then a different front bumper is going on this one as well, so a little bit of finishing final prep work to be done on that, replacing what's currently on there. What else? That's it for now, I think. So yeah, we will probably, just trying to think through in my head actually what I'm even doing, probably end up spraying the insides of these wings first, and we'll do a quick test fit first just to make sure that they do fit well, and then we'll probably spray the insides, epoxy, clear coats, bolt them back onto the car then, so that the insides are protected and they'll last forever then, and then we can paint the outsides as and when we're doing the rest of the vehicle. So yeah, that's probably the plan. Okay, so first step, we're going to put some epoxy on these. Technically they shouldn't really need it, it's just a little extra precaution that we like to go to, especially on the insides. For the corrosion resistance and everything. You've seen the other wings, they've already corroded, and they were the second set on there as well, I think. So obviously the original VW ones, if the original VW ones don't even last, then we haven't got a huge hope, but we can do what we can do. So epoxy these, and then I'm going to put some colour on the inside edges, top edges, bits and pieces that I can't get to once they're bolted back onto the car, but I am going to bolt it back onto the car for the colour match and orientation. So we'll just get some colour blown around on the areas that I won't be able to get to, and then obviously seal it from the back end as well for that corrosion resistance that I talked about before. And that'll be a good little base point to start from, I think. I'm going to make this into a 2-piece splitter instead of the 4 that it's currently in. So we've trimmed the sections to join together and fit nicely. The way that it was before, they just overlapped. It's a universal splitter and the 2 pieces overlapped, and there's quite a thick piece on them, and it just looked really bad. So didn't suit the look of the car at all. I have then, like I said, trimmed it all together. We'll weld those together essentially and make it look like it's meant to be. Same with the rear bumper, well not the same, but we're going to cold weld this as well, get rid of the parking sensor holes, fill those in now, just gives it a bit of a cleaner look on the rear end. Parking sensors don't work on this one, so yeah, seems like the right thing to do now.
Before signing for Man City in 2021, then trying to decipher what the song's about.
Very hard to find me, very hard, because I'm not really taking it in.
Right then, that's the repairs done, I think. I hope. It's as far as I'm going to go anyway. So we have done a soft edge mask on the areas which I'm going to put into high build. Parking sensors have been welded back together, plastic welded back together, like we said previously. Front bumper, needed a lot of work actually. So we had a lot of holes along the bottom edge where there was a previous splitter. It's going to have another splitter onto it as well. That splitter as well that I showed in the previous video is now going to be a 1-piece splitter. I widened it ever so slightly too much when I did the plastic welding previously. I don't know, we're talking millimeters really, but I wasn't happy with it. So I'm actually going to plastic weld the center section as well now, which will give a better finish in any case. So quite happy with that outcome really in the end, or I will be. And then again, this side has required quite a bit of work. In hindsight, I should have polyed it really. I should have spray polyed it. It would have been a lot easier and it would have given us a better finish, but that's not really what this one was in for. Yeah, I haven't got time to be doing that sort of thing, unfortunately. I think it would have been a nicer finish, but hopefully will come out nice in any case. Yeah, so all of these areas now into high build after a quick mask up, and then I'm going home. Righto, that's back into, well, that's into high build, sorry. So the bumper's come out okay. I think there's a little bit of an issue going on here, which we might need to look at tomorrow. The door on this side is a little bit rippled still, unfortunately. I wish I'd put it into poly now, to be fair. But that's not what it was in for in any case. Like I said, it is an older car now anyway. We've been trying to make it as good as we possibly can. This side that we spent a lot more time on, as you can see, it's going to come out a lot nicer. Yeah, either way, we put 3 nice big, thick coats of high build on there, so hopefully we can get some of the waves and ripples out and panel warp out of this side anyway. It's not going to be so that it's noticeable so much, it just bothers me, it irritates me, but never mind, that's not what this one was in for. So yeah, we'll make a nice job out of it in any case. And it is now coming on 10:30, so it's home time. Pick this up again tomorrow, sand it down 400, block all of the areas that we've primed, prep the rest of the car, and then hopefully get some paint on it. All right then, guys. So Golfy has slightly defeated me for today. It's late again, as you can see. I think it's only just past 9 o'clock now. But it was always the plan to get this one painted today. It's unfortunately just not going to happen. It's had a few bits and pieces which have taken us a little bit longer than I had hoped. To be fair, I could paint this one today if I wanted to. But with the flash off process in the wet on wets and the flash off processes in the solvent based paint that's going on this one, and also the clear coat that we're using is the highest end clear coat that we've got. That's got a really long flash and it's got a long baking cycle as well. So it'd take me well into the middle of the night. So I think I'd prefer to just go home, get a bit of a refresh, come back at 5-6 o'clock-ish in the morning, finish this one off. It won't set us back any time if I do it that way instead. Yeah, I think I'm just going to prefer to do it this time around like that instead. Going to spend some time with the boys, to be fair. Yeah, also Kayla doesn't actually know that we're doing all this, so we agreed on replacing the front wings, damage on the bonnet, and obviously the front bumper repairs, but she doesn't know about the rest of it all. So Kayla, you owe me. I'll see you at work. But yeah, it's the best way to do this one, and especially now that it's got my name attached to it a little bit, at least from the paintwork side of things, I wanted to go a little bit further. Yeah, new lease of life for Golfy. I think, hopefully, if we can do her justice, it's not quite going to be the end of her show season. Kays was saying that she's not going to be going to any more shows. We'll see about that. But yeah, for now, exhausted. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm off home. Come back in, like I said, 5 o'clock in the morning or so, I think. Get this one finished off. I'm actually really looking forward to painting it. It's a shame that it's got so late. But yeah, be in tomorrow and get this one done. Trailed off on the videos a little bit. We've had a really busy time of things again, but I just thought I'd pick it up really quickly. So back together, or almost back together in any case, just doing the final little bits and pieces, and then a final cut and polish over the whole car. We are still struggling with the splitter. It looks good now. I think we've finally got it to a point where I am happy with it, obviously apart from the front. We had the biggest problems trying to get this one on. It just seems to change every single time that I've done it. It seems to change. It's magically changing dimensions. It doesn't matter how many times we've measured it and everything, it just seems to keep shifting direction. I think partly because the bumper's not actually been on the car, if that makes sense. But it's fully on the car now, so it's changed once again. But it's actually worked out for the better this time. So we had serious issues with that middle piece earlier, but I think I'm fairly happy with how it's going at the moment. So obviously I'm not leaving it like this. We've welded it back together in the middle, so it is a one-piece bumper at the splitter at the moment, obviously not finished. I think I'm just going to round this off now to follow the curves of the line. Unfortunately, that means making that lip as well, and then obviously repainting the whole splitter. But yeah, it's going to be the best that I can do, and it will be a one-piece, which probably isn't going to last for too long anyway. But hopefully it stays on there for a bit, because it has been an absolute nightmare. But there we are, coming along nicely. So, like I said, final cut and polish coming up next, after putting the wheel arches back on, the splitter, just doing the final adjustments, bits and pieces now, arch liners, new arch liners going in. Yeah, coming along. It's going to be a late finish. I mentioned in that previous video, I've got these little anodized washers. The way that this bumper is, obviously it's got the gap there. So my idea, excuse the terrible camera work here, my idea was to put these little washers in, just in little fine details like that. I think that looks good. They're actually very similar colour to the car as well. But yeah, finishes that off nicely, I think. And it'll make it nice and strong too, so a few of those along the centre section. Right then, that's another one off the list. Huge thanks to Kayla for this one and trusting us with this. A lot of you guys will know Kayla works with us from time to time, and she is more than capable of doing a paint job just like this, absolutely by herself, which puts massive extra pressure on us, to be fair, I think, or me in this case. I think it's without doubt the most nerve-wracking paint job I've ever done in my life, in all honesty. Because it's another paint, basically another painter trusting you with their pride and joy. So yeah, I think we've done it justice. It's been some long shifts, early starts and late finishes. It is just a tidy up, so this is not a show car finish. It's not what we've gone for at all. It's an improve only sort of thing, but I think everyone will agree, hopefully, it has come out nice. So yeah, I'll be seeing her in half an hour or so. And hopefully she thinks the same.